Good morning, first graders. Today is Thursday, April 30th, 2020. We're going to get started working on a little bit of writing today. We have 3 pages in our student interactive, and these pages are going to prepare us for writing our how-to book. Last week, you should have generated some ideas, which is brainstorming some ideas for your own how-to book. This week, we're going to talk a little bit about an introduction and a conclusion to your book. We're going to talk about instructions, and we're going to talk about graphics. You are not actually going to begin your book yet. We'll do that another week. Go ahead and get started taking a look on page 91. Again, this is page 91. On page 91, it says compose an introduction and a conclusion. An introduction gets readers interested in a topic. A conclusion provides a sense of closure on the topic. So an introduction gets your reader hooked, makes them want to read what you're writing. And a conclusion is how you close it out. It makes the reader feel like they've completed the reading. For the My Turn, your job is to write an introduction and a conclusion for a topic that's been given to you. So today, the topic that we're practicing with is how to make a bed. So you need an introduction and a conclusion. You can write your own, or you can use mine, but I'm going to give you some examples. So an introduction for how to make a bed would be something like, your room can look clean when you know how to make your bed. I'll say that again. Your room can look clean when you know how to make your bed. The idea is that might hook the reader. Oh, I really need to clean my room, or my room looks a little messy. What can I do to make it look a little more neat and a little more organized? Maybe I can practice making my bed. Then in the how-to book, after the introduction, the steps would be provided to the reader, and then you have a conclusion at the end. So after we've given the steps of how to make a bed, you need a conclusion, something that tells the reader that the text is finished and maybe leaves them wanting to make their bed. So my suggestion for a conclusion would be, making your bed is easy to do. I'll say that one more time in case you want to write down my example. Making your bed is easy to do. Okay, now remember, you can pause this video at any time to fill out the papers or to write my examples, or you can continue watching the video and do your work after. I know the My Turn says to compose your introduction and conclusion for your how-to book. You do not need to do that yet. You're welcome to, but I'm not requiring you to do that yet. On the next page, we're going to be talking about instructions. So this is page 92. Instructions are the directions on how to make or do something. Instructions include sentences that often begin with a verb. Do you guys remember what a verb is? A verb is an action word. So a verb is something I can do. So if we were in the classroom and you said talk, I could talk. If you said jump, I could jump. If you said run, I could run. A verb is an action word, something you can do. Let's keep reading. I'm right here. So these instructions, they use specific and relevant details to develop their ideas. That means the details are related to what the topic is. So if your topic was how to make a bed, you're only using details about how to make a bed. So that means that the details are exact and they are on topic. Let's take a look at these directions at the top of the page. Plant the sunflower seed. Water the soil with enough water so that the soil is wet. Okay, now the reason some of those words are in bold, because we could have just said plant the seed. But if you just said plant the seed, you're not being specific. You're not giving enough detail. So what kind of seed? Sunflower seed. We also could have said water the soil, but how much do you water it? That's why we said water the soil with enough water so that the soil is wet. So now your job is to practice writing instructions on how to brush your teeth. You're going to use specific and relevant details. So think about, what do you do when you brush your teeth? Do you turn the water on first, or do you grab your toothbrush? When do you put the toothpaste on it? Maybe you get your toothbrush wet before you start brushing. When you brush back and forth. Maybe you use a timer when you brush your teeth. There are a lot of ideas. So your job on your own, or with the help of a grown-up at home, is to write simple instructions of how to brush your teeth and use specific and relevant details. Remember to use verbs, those action words, okay? Like wet your toothbrush. Wet could be the verb. Or brush. Brush is a verb, it's the action, okay? When you're finished with this page, you are going to move on to your last page for today. It's page 93, page 93. And it's all about creating simple graphics, okay? So, how-to books use simple graphics to give more details about the instructions. So, how many of you are the type of learner where, great, a teacher can tell you something, but oftentimes you learn better if you see a visual. You actually see what the teacher is talking about. That's when a simple graphic would come in handy. So, simple graphics are pictures or drawings that can have labels. So for the My Turn, it says to read the step. There's been one step provided for you. And then draw a simple graphic that adds details to the writing and add a label. So if step one, for whatever the directions were, whatever this how-to book is about, if step one was fill a bucket with water, then you need to create a graphic. You need to draw a picture and you need to add a label. So I might draw a picture of a bucket. Maybe I can see through it and I can see where the water is. And maybe I have an arrow pointing to it saying bucket, or an arrow pointing inside saying water. It's up to you. Okay, so your jobs for today are to practice creating a simple graphic, to practice composing instructions that have a lot of details that are precise, and to practice including your introduction and conclusion. Please reach out to me if you need any help. Tomorrow, your job is to take your MyView assessment for the week. It's your weekly progress check on MyView. Remember, this week is Unit 5, Week 2. Your other job is to work on your Studies Weekly. Some of you may have already started it for this week. In Studies Weekly, we're working on Week 23, and the topic is money and trade. And remember, tomorrow we have our class Zoom meeting together. I hope I see you there. Feel free to reach out to me before then if you guys need any help. I miss you guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.